Most of all, he loved it when his father told stories about his childhood. Stories of growing up in a wealthy family in Silesia in eastern Germany, where they had owned a bakery and farm before the war. All had been well until the 1930s, when Adolf Hitler rose to power. Klaus's father's family watched this turn of events with alarm. The John family was devoutly Christian and belonged to the Brethren Church. They had been loyal supporters of Kaiser Wilhelm and did not like Adolf Hitler, or his ways at all. Yet they knew it was dangerous to protest too loudly. In September 1939, when Klaus's father was 14 years old, Germany invaded Poland, beginning what would become World War II. In 1944, when he was 19, Rudolf John was drafted into the German army. As he fought, he continually prayed that God would help him survive. In the winter of 1945, at the age of 20, he was injured and taken to a military hospital. While he was in the hospital, Germany surrendered, and the war ended. After his release from the hospital, which had been captured by American soldiers, Klaus's father, along with thousands of other German soldiers, was handed over to the French and taken to a prisoner-of-war camp at Lille, on the border between France and Belgium. Thousands of men were held there in open fields surrounded with barbed wire. They had no coats or blankets and very little food. They ate grass and drank the water from foul puddles. Every day hundreds of men died from starvation and disease. At Lille, Klaus's father realized that if he did not escape, he too might die. So he made a plan. Sometimes the prisoners were hired out to help local farmers, and Klaus's father volunteered for the job. Rudolf often told Klaus about the night he escaped. He was being housed on the second floor of a farmhouse along with 3 other prisoners. Vicious dogs guarded them at all times. In the middle of the night, Klaus's father crept out of bed, tied his sheets together to make a rope, and gently opened the window. The whole time, he prayed that the watchdogs would not bark. Down the sheets he slid, still praying. There was no noise inside the house, and the dogs remained silent. When he reached the ground, Rudolf put on his shoes and ran for the woods. Because it was far too dangerous to travel in daylight, he had to walk at night and hide during the day. He estimated that he would have to walk nearly 200 miles across France and Luxembourg to get back to safety in Germany, and he had no idea how long it would take him to cover that distance. All he had to eat during this time was soup, which he made with water and flour. A French soldier with a dog caught sight of Klaus's father a few days into his journey to freedom. Rudolf ran for cover and hid in a clump of bushes. He thought he might evade the soldier, but the dog would easily smell him. Klaus's father prayed fervently and watched as the dog approached the bushes, sniffed, and moved on. The soldier became frustrated and began to curse the dog, leading it back to the bushes. But the dog could not pick up the scent and continued to sniff in a different direction. Eventually, the soldier hauled the dog away, still cursing. Rudolf breathed a prayer of thanks as he slipped deeper into the woods. "You see, Klaus, God never leaves us alone," Klaus's father would say at this point, as he recounted the story of his escape. After 2 weeks, Rudolf reached the Luxembourg border, but crossing it was no easy task. Soldiers were stationed all along the road at the border. As Klaus's father hid behind a rock and surveyed the scene, he noticed that one soldier smoked almost continuously while staring toward the mountains. Praying as he went, Rudolf inched his way toward the border. As he moved along, the soldier remained with his back to him, facing the mountains and drawing on his cigarette. Even when Klaus's father was so close that the soldier could have reached out and touched him, the soldier did not turn around. On went Rudolf John, aware that if anyone saw him, he would be shot where he stood. The seconds ticked by as he made it safely across the border into Luxembourg.